Okay,
Run.
let's go.
Okay, here we go. That's me coming on stage. Should I put that in the show? I think I
Yep.
should. All right, ready? Okay, just to catch you up, because we haven't done any instruction for a couple of days. Does anybody know what this is? That's fermentation. So when we left off last, we were doing fermentation for two reasons. What are they? The only two reasons a cell would even attempt fermentation.
No oxygen.
Limited oxygen supply or depleted oxygen and
Not enough mitochondria.
not enough mitochondria. Okay, so those are the two reasons we were here. Now you guys remember, how long can you do this? This is a limited bridge. That's all it is. To get you to fill the gap until the correct conditions arise. So we are continually building up these toxic byproducts, which is why fermentation is not good long term. Now I have to tell you a secret today. I'm gonna go to red. I'm already on red, I was just kidding. Don't do what I'm about to do to your notes. Don't do it. But I want to show you a secret, okay? If I get here, I'm fully aware I already have depleted oxygen, correct? Everybody go like this. I know you won't be on camera, but go like this, okay? Now, what if oxygen arise? Arise. Huh. Now we have oxygen. Don't do this to your nose. If you have oxygen and you've been running fermentation, everybody ready? Where is the overwhelming vast majority of energy in the original glucose right now?
And lactic acid.
It's in lactic acid, and it's still sitting there in your muscles. It has value as long as what shows up.
Oxygen.
Guess what you can do to lactic acid?
And
I can change it into,
Pyruvate.
yeah, you can actually run this pathway backwards. I can run this pathway backwards, and once I have pyruvate again, which way can I go?
Cellular respiration.
I can go down to cellular respiration. And that's where we want to go, because that's the maximum benefit. What's our efficiency rating if we go all the way through?
38.
38. What was it if we stopped right here?
0.02.
It was 2%. 0.2 is, or 0.02 is 2%. So we're going to convert it back into pyruvate and run it down. So what is the next set of pathways then? We had glycolysis first. What's pathway set 2?
Kreb cycle.
Krebs cycle. Yeah. Now I'm going to go up to here in your notes. I'm going to go up to, no. Hey, where is it? Where's my summary? Oh, there it is. Boom. I'm going to go right there. Does everybody remember that? You can look in your notes if you wanted to. So we came from glucose to pyruvate, limited depleted oxygen supply. We went out the side door through fermentation, depending on cell type. Today, oxygen is going to arrive. We're going to go back to pyruvate, and we're going to enter what organelle?
Mitochondria.
But only if what is present.
Oxygen.
There it is. Now we're going to run it the rest of the way and see how we get maximum benefit from our food. So we're going to start right here today. Ha. The Krebs cycle. Are you ready? Now we didn't put it in your notes, but everybody has to know before we continue. Where are we now? We're in the mitochondria, and we only entered the mitochondria because what is now present in the rest of our discussions? Oxygen is there, and third level of understanding, you have something that can actually process that oxygen. You have the mitochondria you need. So everything's in place now. Are you ready? What player is going to be first today? Who should we invite to the stage? Pyruvate. Whoa.
Oh.
What was that? Why was I speaking with an Austrian accent?
Oh, that's bad.
If you're going to make faces about the noises, buckle up. Because I used a lot of noises. Now, I wrote pyruvic acid here, but that's the same thing as what? Pyruvate. It's the same thing. Pyruvic acid, pyruvate. Does everybody notice something's missing out here from the last time you saw pyruvate? There's no 2x. Does everybody see that? To remove all of that in that visual clutter, we're going to run one pyruvate through the cycle with the knowledge in the crowd that we actually have how many? 2. So whatever we make, we have to multiply by. Whatever we do, we have to do it 2 times. Everybody with me? Yes? Go if you're with me. Hey, don't shake me off. That's not cool. Okay. Now, I want to set up an analogy so you have something to think about. System 2. I want Drew to be able to picture something in his or her head while we're doing this. I like to think of the Krebs cycle as a giant apple tree in the orchard. Okay? And it's early to mid-October. So what would you say about the apples? They're not dead. It's the fall harvest season. The apples are what?
Beautiful and perfect.
I was thinking ripe, but beautiful, amazing. All of those are good too. I was just going to go with ripe. Okay. So they're ready to be picked. Okay. Everybody good? So every time something happens in here, I want you to picture somebody is going to shake the apple tree in October. If you shake an apple tree in October, what happens? Apples fall on the ground. That's just the way it goes. They fall on the ground. So two things are going to happen. We're going to shake the tree, and the apples are going to fall down. But watch. Shaking the tree is actually removing carbon dioxide from a molecule. So every time I remove a CO2, what do I want you to picture? And then as you shake the tree, what's going to happen? Apples fall down, but they're not really apples today. They're electrons. And just like the apples in harvest season, we're not going to leave them lay on the ground. We're going to put them in baskets, or in this case, backpacks called coenzymes. Everybody got it? Okay, let's go to the class question. It was already up there. What is the point of the Krebs cycle?
Collect more electrons.
It is to liberate electrons. Write those words specifically wherever your class question is. Liberate electrons. What does the word liberate mean? To free up. And I think that's cool, because while you're writing, generally when we eat, we think we're trying to get energy from our food, which is counterintuitive, because that's not what you're doing. What are you trying to get from your food? You're trying to get electrons from your food. And those electrons will run a machine that will generate, create molecules you can use as an energy source. I was trying to use the right words and not violate the first and second law. All right, here we go. First step. Let's shake the tree. So if I shake the tree, what am I going to do in this next frame? What am I going to do?
Get rid of CO2.
I'm going to remove CO2. There it is. And I'm fully aware that all these sound effects are annoying. That's the whole point. I think it's entertaining. Now, if I shake the tree, what just fell out? Apples, but they're not apples. They're electrons. Where do you want to put them?
In the backpack.
And we have to put them in a backpack because you guys already know from former instruction, if we let electrons go into the universe, how long are they gone for our purposes? Forever. That's a terrible idea. So there are two famous backpacks. Well, one's a backpack, one's a fanny pack. Dora's backpack. NAD
Plus.
and FAD. You remember that from the last unit. Here we go. So we're going to take NAD, the backpack, we're going to put the two electrons in there and zip it up. So we put two electrons in the backpack. That is future money, future benefit. Now removing a carbon dioxide and two electrons from pyruvic acid is going to create a molecule called acetyl-CoA. There it is. Now I'm going to bring up my pen temporarily. Whatever I write will disappear, so make sure you get it. I kind of lied and said we were going to talk about the Krebs cycle, which we are. But this piece right here is not actually part of what? It's actually called the setup step. Now I would agree during instruction, most teachers would blend them together. I'm going to do that to a degree, and then I'm going to separate it out when we do the balance sheet. You'll get to see that. So when I bring up this phrase, setup step, in the future, you'll be like, oh, now I know what Skerbz talking about. So pyruvic acid went into the mitochondria, we altered it to create acetyl-CoA. That's what we need to start the what? Here we go. Bang. Now, another visual analogy. We're gonna make a cake today. So in the bowl, we got to put the dry ingredients. One of them's already in the bowl. It's called acetyl-CoA. We're going to add to the bowl a molecule from the left here called oxaloacetic acid. There it goes. We put those two together in an enzymatic reaction. But you guys know you can't make a cake without a batter, and a batter is not just dry goods. We're going to need some what too? In the analogy, we're going to need some liquid. So we're going to take these two molecules, combine them with water. I know it's annoying. Makes me laugh every time. So we got acetyl-CoA, oxaloacetic acid, and water in the bowl. Stir. And here's what you get. Something called citric acid. Thank you. Now, for those of you who are very interested, some of your old school professors are actually going to call the Kreb cycle this citric acid cycle, because it's the first molecule produced in the loop. So Kreb cycle, citric acid cycle, for testing purposes, same thing. I love you wrote that down, that's okay. Now, the next step of the cycle. Citric acid is not going to work for the next pull, the next draw, the next removal of electrons. To make that easier, we're going to take all of the components of citric acid and rearrange them into a new molecule. What's that called? We're going to take all of the parts of citric acid and rearrange them into a new molecule. We're not going to add, what? It's an isomer. We're going to do an isomeric change to citric. Shark attack. He's allowed that stuff. He's not technically in this bed. Haley made a face. I had to do it 3 times. Nobody was frightened by the shark sound. Jesus, that's crazy. So we're just going to do a little enzymatic rearrangement here to create something called isocitric acid. Money, cha-ching.
What's our test on this?
That's coming. That's coming.
It'll happen.
Yep. Let's
Are we
learn it.
talking?
Let's learn it first, Biff. Then we'll take a test.
Yep, it's tomorrow.
On this or the whole unit?
No, I mean the Kreb cycle.
Tomorrow. But I was going to get to that. Thanks for ruining the surprise.
It's tomorrow.
Biff on the block, ruining the surprise. Way to go, Biff. Now, ready? We're going to shake the tree. Isocitric acid. We're going to shake it. And when we shake it, what do you want to do? Well, yeah, but how do we shake it? How do we shake it? We're going to remove CO2. Ready? We're going to remove CO2. We shake the tree, we'll remove CO2, electrons come out. Do we want to waste those electrons? No, that's why it's called redox reactions. We're going to oxidize isocitric to liberate electrons only to put them in the backpack or reduce NAD to NADH. Keep writing. You already wrote? You already knew it was coming?
Yeah, you were talking about it.
Okay, very good. All right, I like it. So if I remove a carbon dioxide and 2 electrons from isocitric, that creates a molecule called alpha ketogluteric acid. I don't make this stuff up.
Do we have?
The alpha symbol looks like this over here. And I don't know if that's on camera.
It looks like a fish.
It is.
It was? Good. Okay. So now that's my stupid face was also on camera. Nice. Alpha ketogluteric acid. Now this next set of reactions is very involved. So I'm going to do a longer line all the way to the bottom so that the next molecule is underneath citric, if that helps you take notes. All right, we're going to take alpha ketogluteric acid, we're going to shake the tree. What does that mean? We're going to remove CO2. If we do that, that by extension liberates electrons. Where do you want to put them? Stop doing that. Sorry, I'm whining at the board. Okay, good. It's not true. Zip it up. Love the sound effects. Okay, so that's kind of the basic theme, the liberation of electrons. But this next part is fantastic. Whatever's going to happen in this corner down here, hopefully you left some room down in this corner here, okay? Nature, it's almost as if the planet knew that by the time you get to the top of the energy pyramid, where we are, top predators, how much energy is available for our use? Yeah, it's almost nothing. So we have to be incredibly what if we're going to live up there? Efficient. We have to be efficient. So evolution is going to squeeze out every bit of benefit that it can from this pathway. So watch. We're going to remove our carbon dioxide, put 2 electrons in the backpack, and then we're going to do just a tiny little bit of substrate level phosphorylation. Can somebody in the crowd tell me what substrate level phosphorylation is?
bringing electrons to, or making ATP.
Yeah, be more specific though. He said making ATP.
Bringing electrons in
Making
phosphor.
from a substrate and putting it into an ADP.
That is correct. It is the direct transfer of phosphorus from a substrate into ADP. And if you do that, guess what you can make? ATP. That would be some benefits, squeezing the life out of this pathway. Okay? Now, there's an issue here. The phosphorus does not get passed directly to ADP in this set of reactions. It actually goes to a cousin of ADP called GDP. What was that?
You're drawing.
Didn't mean to draw.
Wait, I'm confused.
Okay, I'll just leave that there. I won't save it then. GDP, which is also a nucleotide, we did all of the training on this, is going to pick up a phosphorus. Now, I'm not showing that, but that's what's happening. So if GDP picks up a phosphate group, what would it turn into? GTP. Now, if we pause right there, can you use GTP to do work or run cellular pathways? No, there's only one molecule that can do that, and what is it?
ATP.
So we need a secondary pass of this hot potato, this hot phosphate group. So the phosphate goes to GDP to make GTP, and then we immediately break it back down. We're going to flip it back. So we're going to pass it from keto to GDP, and then we're going to pass that phosphate directly to, crazy guess,
Substrate.
ADP. Just so you know, because it's not showing there, a phosphate bounced from keto to GDP to ADP. A piggyback set of reactions, one leading to the next. So if I give a phosphate to ADP, what am I going to produce? Whammo.
So stupid.
Don't say that. It is not. It is entertaining. It is. I'm probably going to get like 5,000 views on YouTube.
Here.
No, I'm not. I'm going to get 7.
They're all gonna be me.
Okay, now, we're still not done. Right at the very end, we're actually going to make it easier to get the electrons out of the next molecule. We're going to add water right at the end.
That was a good one.
Yeah. All right, that was good. We're going to add water. So if you do all of that to alpha ketogluteric acid, you get a molecule of succinic acid right there at the bottom. Okay.
And then is it over?
No, not even by a long shot. Are you ready for it to be over?
Yes.
I love the Kreb cycle.
We have a test for this tomorrow.
Who doesn't like liberating electrons, people?
I don't know this being.
Let my people go. No, I'm just kidding. Sorry, I shouldn't sing on camera. I forgot I was on camera. I started singing. That was my bad. My bad. Okay, succinic acid. Now, in this case, we're not going to shake the tree. We got this thing really arranged neatly, so we're just going to reach up, grab 2 electrons, and pull them out. Where do you want to put them?
Okay.
Well, in this step, we're not going to use the backpack. We're going to use what I like to call a fanny pack.
Yes.
Okay? So we're going to take those 2 electrons, and we're going to put them in the fanny pack. What's the fanny pack? FAD. Huh. There we go. Wait, no. There we go. So we're going to put the 2 electrons in the fanny pack. Now, I will tell you in this case, FAD can hold both protons, NAD can only hold 1 proton. Not much of a difference, but make sure you get that right on the quiz. It's not FADH, it's FADH. They're both in there together. 2 electrons. I only call it the fanny pack because it starts with an F, and I thought that was funny.
Yeah, but fanny pack is
And
smaller than
nobody wears a fanny pack, except for hunters. Hunters
I
wear fanny
do.
packs.
Silly.
You know where we are now?
No, but to like.
You're a
Eddie or?
fanny pack fan?
Like when I go to Disney and stuff.
Oh, you people at Disney. I've seen you down there
I've seen
before.
you guys.
I've seen you down there. Okay, now that's going to create, take those 2 electrons, that's going to create something called fumaric acid.
Fumaric.
I love all these words. Talk about this at the dinner table. You'll impress your parents, or you'll annoy them and they'll tell you to be quiet. One of the 2.
I'm running out of space.
Do I have to make the sound effects?
Now, to get these last 2 electrons out, we're going to do a little bit of a rearrangement by adding water to fumaric. Ooh. Oh, Rick O'Shea, the Irish bounce. Rick O'Shea,
Ah, ah,
the Irish bounce.
ah, ah.
Rick O'Shea. O'Shea's an Irish name.
Why is it one big circle?
Why is what one big circle?
It's actually a
It's
cycle.
Kreb cycle.
I'm gonna say because it's a cycle, Biff.
I do the circle.
That's gonna be on my YouTube channel forever. There you go. That was hilarious. Was she just messing with me or was she serious?
I don't know.
She's serious.
I think she was serious.
I'm gonna screen record it and send it
Okay.
to every day.
Adding that water is going to create something called malic acid. We're almost done, Biff. We're almost there.
That's sour stuff.
I like that little laser sound though. That was cool. That was cool. Thanks, Eddie.
That's what they put in like sour.
Now,
candy.
all we gotta do is take 2 more electrons out of malic acid, and we will convert that into what? Crazy guess.
So let's
Oxide
see
that.
What?
ATP.
You are gonna create the molecule necessary to start the next loop. Genius.
Whoa.
Here we go. Malic will be converted into oxaloacetic acid as long as I remove those last 2 electrons and put them in a backpack. Full circle. Now this is the cool part. As long as you do something 3 to 5 times a day, what would that be? If you eat, if you have electrons from your food available and coming down the respiratory chain, down through cellular respiration, this wheel will continue to what? It'll continue to turn or churn, chunking out electrons so that you can stay alive. If that wheel stops spinning, that's the end. You guys doing the Cabbage Patch over there? Oh, you're churning. Oh, I thought you were dancing.
Churning butter.
I thought you were at the fire hall wedding doing the Cabbage Patch. Okay. Now, don't forget, and we're going to do this tomorrow. This is not happening one time for a mole of glucose. This is actually happening
Yes.
2 times. There are 2 pyruvates, so everything you did here is doubled. Any questions so far? For us to do the understanding component, I need you to know this like it's your job by tomorrow. By tomorrow. Homework. Discard.
20 times.
Adaptations. Not, well, no, not
2
20.
times.
Homework, right there.
Okay, that's fine.
I want you to do 10 rewrites, that's 5 papers front and back, of the Krebs cycle. Now, that's the requirement just to get paid for the homework. Some of you might need to write more than 10. The goal is to be able to do it 10 times in a row without mistake, without looking very efficiently, without forgetting anything. No clerical errors. You got it. So if you have it in your mind by tomorrow, 2 things are going to happen. 1, you will be successful on the quiz, and you will be able to understand what is the benefit of the Krebs cycle. Before I end and let you start working, what is the point of the Krebs cycle?
Free
Liberate
electrons.
electrons.
To liberate electrons. The remaining time is yours to work on your homework. See you next time.
My brain